Hi there and welcome back to section number 3. We're going to go ahead and get started where we left off by going over the rectangle tool. The rectangle tool is great to use when you need to create a four-sided object with right angles. It works a lot like this selection box that we learned in section 2. So to start that rectangle command, you can click on that small icon in the ribbon. It's just to the right of the arc and on top of the two other smaller icons. Or you can type rec or rectang in the dynamic input. So I'm going to go ahead and type rec, and there it is. Click on that. And just like the other drawing tools, you have to specify the first corner point. And in general, rectangles are a two-click command. So the first click starts the rectangle on the screen. Just choose a random place like I did. And that second click is going to place that rectangle because you can see it's kind of attached to your cursor. So go ahead and click, and there you have your rectangle. If you click on the rectangle, you'll notice those square grips that are the corner grips, and you also see the flat stretching grips. Remember that the flat ones will allow you to stretch out a shape, and the corner ones will allow you to kind of create unique shapes with it. Now, if you want to create a rectangle with specific dimensions, let's say like a square, you're going to start the rectangle over. So let's escape and go back up and restart the rectangle command. I'm going to go ahead and start a rectangle and drag it out a little bit. But before I click on that second one, go down to that command bar and you should see the options that you have for this rectangle. So you should see dimensions has a highlighted D. It's blue in color. Go ahead and type D and hit enter. And what AutoCAD wants is two different measurements. The first measurement is going to be the horizontal measurement, and the second one will be the vertical measurement. So for this square, let's say that I want both sides to be 1 foot 3 inches. So I'm going to type that in, hit enter, and do it one more time. This is for the vertical measurement. Hit enter, and there it places the square, but it hasn't placed it quite yet. It's wanting to know, based on that original starting point, which direction that you would like the square to be placed. So just choose one by clicking, and there you've got your square. So just to demonstrate that one more time, let's go ahead and restart the square. Let's not do a square, let's just do a rectangle this time. So D for dimensions before I hit that second click. Let's do 3 foot 3 and 2 foot 2, because why not? There's that rectangle. Just remember that the last step is to place it in the quadrant that you want to based on that starting point, and there is your rectangle. Now I'd like to take a couple brief minutes to explain one of the major modification tools in AutoCAD. It's called the Move command. The Move command will allow you to essentially pick up a shape and move it to a different place in model space. So the Move command is actually located in the Modify panel of the Home tab, which is right next to all those drawing tools we've been learning. Before instigating this command though, it's really important to highlight the object that you want to move first. So in this instance, I've highlighted the square, and then with that object highlighted, then we can instigate the Move command. There's 3 ways to do that. We can definitely click on the Move command in the ribbon. You can type M or Move in dynamic input. You can also right-click with your mouse and choose Move in the panel that pops up. This panel is called a shortcut menu or the right-click menu. So I'm going to go ahead and do the right-click menu. So once that command has been instigated, your dynamic input says that it wants you to choose what's called a base point. So to explain a base point, I want you to imagine picking up a picture frame to move it from table to table. You have to grab it somewhere before you can actually move it, right? So in AutoCAD, the base point is the place that you grab an object. And there's a couple trains of thought when it comes to grabbing objects. You can grab an object on the object itself, so corner grips, stretch grips, anywhere on the line. So let's say that I want to choose this corner of the square. Go ahead and click to make it stick, and you'll see that that object attaches. It leaves a little ghost behind just to kind of let you know where it was previously, but now you can move it anywhere in AutoCAD if you want to. So let's just go ahead and randomly drop it by clicking. You can also grab an object at any point inside or outside of the object by clicking in an open area. So again, let's click on the object. Let's instigate that move command. Specify your base point. This time I'm just going to randomly select some point in space, and what I want you to see is that that square attaches to your cursor and it stays in the exact same placement or distance from your cursor as where you first chose that base point. Click to make it stick. The key to moving objects is knowing where and how you want to place those objects and what base point you want to use. So if I want this corner to align to this corner, you have to be stealthy. Click that object, click the move command, specify your base point. I'm going to choose the corner because I want that corner to align to this corner. And remember that we've got object snaps on. That's what's making this easy to do. That's that little green square that you see. Just go ahead and click, and now you've placed that object in alignment with the other. You always want to draw in AutoCAD with the least steps as possible. So at first that's going to feel awkward because you're kind of exploring your options, and that's totally fine as a beginner. But eventually with practice, you want to be an ace at quick and efficient drawing. So this concludes the basic concepts of the rectangle and the move command. Let's delete all the line work on the screen, and let's move on to the next shape, which is the polygon. Now to the right of that rectangle is a drop-down menu, and this is where you can find the Polygon tool. You can also type POL or Polygon to instigate this command. Polygons are multi-sided shapes like triangles or hexagons, octagons. You know how it goes. You could create a rectangle or square with this command if you wanted to, but it makes more sense to actually use the rectangle tool for those. Now when you initiate that polygon command, you're going to see that your dynamic input wants you to enter how many sides your shape should have. So let's just choose 6 and hit enter. Next, it wants you to click to place the center of the shape. So it's very much like the circle command. Go ahead and randomly place and choose the spot where you want it to start. But it's also asking you if you want to inscribe it in a circle or about a circle. A circle never places on the screen, and for our purposes you can choose either. There's not much difference between the two at all, so I'm just going to do inscribed in a circle. The second click is going to attach your shape to your cursor, and like I said, it's very similar to the circle. Either enter a distance for the radius or randomly click to place it, and you can see how you can actually make this angled. I'm just going to go straight to the right and just randomly place it. Now all the shapes drawn with this polygon tool are going to be drawn with equal line segments, so you can manipulate the shape using the stretch or the corner. So here I'm going to do like a coffin. Look at that. Haha. You can also manipulate it with the corner grips like you could the rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and Control Z and get back to that original shape. That's really all there is to the polygon. It's just about instigating the command, choosing how many sides you want it to have, and then placing it right into model space. Now if you ever want to make an exact copy of an object, use the copy command. There are 3 ways to instigate that copy command. You can go up to the ribbon. It's located right below the move command that we used last time. You can type the word copy using dynamic input. You can also right-click on the object. So let's go ahead and highlight this object, right-click, and choose Copy Selection. Just like the move command, it wants to know a specific base point that you want to have. So I'm just going to click directly on the object. You'll see that it kind of clones that object. Look at that. All you have to do is click to place that clone where you desire, and you can actually keep repeating this clone as you like. Just hit escape to stop the command when you're ready. That concludes the basic concepts of the polygon and the copy command. So let's delete all of this line work and move on to the next shape, which is an ellipse. The last shape I'm going to show you is going to be pretty quick, and that shape is the ellipse. It is an oval shape, and I like to think of it as what you'd get if circle and rectangle had a baby in AutoCAD. So you begin drawing it much like a circle, but instead of a single radius, the ellipse has two radiuses. One manages the horizontal and one manages the vertical. So to start that ellipse command, you can click on the small icon in the ribbon just to the right of the arc, and it's in the middle of the two other smaller icons. Or you can type ellipse in the dynamic input. Once again, this drawing object has a drop-down menu, and you can see there are 3 ellipses that you can draw. I'm just going to concentrate on the center ellipse. So go ahead and click on that. And the dynamic input is asking us to specify the center of the ellipse. So just randomly choose a spot in model space. And let's move our cursor out. Now you don't see a preview of an oval like you did with square and circle, but that's okay. It's just asking us for the first horizontal measurement. So let's just put 4'8". Hit enter. And there you can see the preview. As you move your cursor in or move it out, you can see that you can make it a squished ellipse or a tall ellipse. Let's make it a squished ellipse. Now you can randomly click or you can type a number. So I'm just going to randomly click. Just to demonstrate this one more time, let's go ahead and start the ellipse command, specify the center, and you don't have to go to the right. You can go up if you want, and we can just randomly do this one. Let's click and click. Feel free to explore the other ellipse types to see what they can do, but this concludes the ellipse, and it also concludes the Section 3 videos.